All right, welcome back. It's time for us to get into some interesting conversations this morning, and I'm excited about the topic that we're going to be discussing this morning, looking at sustainable community development, all right? And we've been joined by a very interesting, well, should I say group of people, architects and academics, looking at how to create sustainable communities. One of them is Rhoda Osei Nkwantabisa. She's a graduate architect and a sustainable community development advocate. Now, this conversation is going to blow your mind. We've also been joined by the Dean of International Programs. He's also an architect, and we happen to be in university at the same time. But he looks like 10 years younger than me, so I don't understand. I don't understand.
Okay. Shave your beard.
I think that's what it is, right?
Yeah, the difference is the beard, right? Yeah.
He's Professor Daniel Dua, and we want to welcome them both. Both of you are welcome.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to Breakfast Daily. All right, so let's start first of all with what we see here on the set, right? What are we looking at?
Okay, so you're looking at an ecotourist resort.
Okay.
Which uses amphibious solutions for flood-prone areas.
Okay, break that down for us. That's a lot of architectural jargon.
So I think the amphibious word comes from animals that can live on water and then inland.
Yes.
So it means that the buildings or the structure, the entire structure can survive during flood periods and when there is no flood.
Okay.
So when we look at this, what exactly is this? Because we see different materials, stuff, put together.
Describe to us
what exactly are we looking at?
Okay, so I want to start from a point. There's a community called Azakpe in the Ada East District Assembly, and they're experiencing floods and erosion, which is wiping away their community. It has affected their economic, it's brought in economic issues and environmental issues to them. So this resort is to help them gain some income whilst all their economic issues are still in there. It will help them gain some income and for the community so that they can still survive in that area. Yes.
Okay. Now, that community is there. Okay. So maybe I should come to Prof. What is your involvement in what we are seeing here?
All right, thank you very much. I wear two hats as the Dean of International Programs Office of the university and also as the year master for the final year program. It's a 6-year program in architecture.
Okay.
And I happen to be the year master. And Dr. Martin Labi was the supervisor for this project.
Okay.
So at the end of the 6 years of architecture, you get to choose one major problem in Ghana and then try and find a solution for that. And we had about 7 major themes. One of it was on sustainability. The principle of sustainability basically says, develop whatever you can today, but always think about the future generation. So don't destroy the environment, the society, and the economy. And Rhoda chose this community to find solutions for the problem there. So I'd like Rhoda to talk about the brief and the major functional zones so that they can appreciate the land and then the water body.
So what was the name of the community again?
Azizakpe.
Do you come from there?
No, please. I'm an Ashanti. It's in Ada.
So why? You didn't find any problem in Ashanti?
So the main reason why I came into architecture was the way our communities look.
Yes.
I used to travel all the way from Tema to Brongahafo to see my parents. And then you look at the landscapes and you see the varied nature of our landscapes. So that drew me into architecture. Okay. So I was watching GTV, their documentaries one time, and they did a documentary on the community. Okay. And I was wondering, so there are island communities in Ghana.
Yeah.
And what are we doing about them? And this community in particular is just being eroded away.
Yeah.
So in some years to come, we're not going to see the community anymore. So I decided to take that community.
So you've never visited that community?
Okay, so I saw the documentary when I was in 2nd year. That was like 2017.
Yeah.
And I visited the place in 2020. And I used it for my project this year.
Okay.
Wow.
So now, what is this? This is the community, or this is what you want the community to look? Okay. So show us what, for instance, what is this? What is that? What is this? What is this? What are these?
So the eco-tourist resorts, like you go to the resort, because it's an island, you get to the island on a boat or a jet ski or something. So then you alight here at this
So at the
side.
very edge there.
Yes.
Okay.
That's where the boats dock.
Dock, yeah.
So
Yes.
that blue space is the water.
The water, exactly.
The white, you know, two white stuff
the
there
boats.
are the
Some
boats.
areas like
okay.
boats.
Yeah.
So then you dock there, and then there are, I think the golf, those who play golf, the cars they use to navigate.
Oh yeah, the golf carts.
The golf carts, okay. So resorts also use it, and it's called a resort bagging, a similar thing. So you use it, it helps you transport through the resort.
So this is the road.
Yes, or a
okay.
path.
Or the path.
Yes.
Okay, so that is it.
Yes.
Okay.
And so you
And
need the
that is
administration.
Okay.
Yeah, everything is like
Raised
insulation.
above ground.
Okay,
Yeah.
so now let's go back a little. Okay, when you saw that community, what did you want to do for the community?
Okay, so a lot of thoughts were running through my mind. I didn't even know I was going to use it for my project.
Okay.
I just grew interest in the place, and I wanted to find solutions to the place. So first, their coconut oil was going down because their trees were going down, erosion and everything. So I thought maybe I should involve the women and then get them to make coconut oil, then we sell out.
Okay.
I've done that, but I felt that wasn't enough.
Yeah.
And people didn't even know about the community. So I said, what can I do to actually bring out the community to philanthropists who can go and help the community and all. So I decided that, okay, let me plan the whole community. There are solutions for flood and erosion. It's not only about sea walls, rock walls and all. There are sustainable solutions that they can implement themselves and then help keep the community. So I did research on various solutions, and then one of them was the ecotourist resort. Others were on planting mangrove plants, oyster reefs and the rest. So that's what I used to design the eco resort and then the entire community.
Okay, so you mentioned that per your research, you wanted them to do something that they themselves, you know, can do. What was that?
Yes. So
in terms of building.
Okay, so the resort applied most of their building materials, like they weave coconut walls, coconut leaves for their walls. Yes, they use bamboo, they use mangrove wood. There are lots of mangroves in that region, so they use mangrove woods which grows stronger in water for their structure. So I decided to use simple materials that they could find, and also used plastic bottles. It's waste in the community, so they could use it for the floating. The building actually floats when the floods come in, and then goes down when there is no flood.
Wow.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
How is that?
That's the structure.
So
okay, so this is one.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So typically, where would your bottles be? Will it be in the net section? I can see some net section.
Exactly. It's a bamboo cage with nylon nets.
With nylon nets around it. So the way bottles are, empty bottles are,
they float.
They will float.
Yes.
Yeah. So automatically, when the water is rising, it will lift the entire
and to
building
lift
up.
it from
That's
the
amazing.
stilts down there.
But what the house be shaking and stuff like that?
So it's the mangrove, which are like, I took inspiration from the mangrove roots.
Yeah.
And those are the stilts that are spining that way. And then the ones at the base. So they are anchored to concrete to the bedrock.
Okay.
So then it's together. And then there are some elements that brace around. So it comes together as one. So even if just one structure fails, the rest are connected.
Yeah.
And so they move together.
Wow.
Okay. Have the people of that community seen this?
Not yet.
Okay. So apart from your supervisor and your dean here, who has seen this? Who else? And maybe the media. Who else, you know, in terms of people in authority who can now help to make this a reality? You know, who has seen this?
No one has.
Well, Citi TV gives us a great platform. And so this is one of the things that we are doing. And the department is also coming out with a yearbook. I mean, there are fantastic ideas that have come out. We had somebody who's looked at the Kayayo and tried to find a solution for that. We've had tremendous different kinds of topic. And as a university, we need to bring our research out for people to know about that. That's what we talk about, impactful research. And there are numerous problems that we come across and try to find solutions for. So once you go through the 6-year program in architecture, You are very well-rounded and ready for industry, and Rhoda is showcasing this. And you should probably have been at our design thesis exams.
You should have invited us.
You'd have been blown away. Yes, next time we will.
Please do. Now, Rhoda, so of all the courses, okay, me when I was going to the university, the 4 years was a problem for me. 4 years is too long. 6 years, you know. What was your motivation? Now, architecture is something that usually you find guys going into it. But what was your motivation? Why architecture?
Community development. So at first I wanted to do land economy. I didn't know about architecture. But getting to my final year in SHS, I heard about architecture and it seemed to envelope everything in the building field. You get to touch on the various areas in bits. So I decided that let me go into it so that any building like I put up, it should be able to solve issues. Okay. It should be able to solve the needs of, because architecture settles the needs of people. So that was what drew me.
But what's your, I mean, what fascinates you about buildings? Because if you want to find solution to problems in society, there are a lot of ways. You know, I think every other course is helping you find solution to, you know, problems. You know, medicine will do that, media will do that. I mean, almost everything you do in the university is preparing you.
The space you are in actually determines how well you'll be able to solve any other need.
Yes.
I mean, it's a unique profession.
That
creates
exactly
something out of nothing. I actually want to have a new studio here. How you create it, it comes out from nothing, and we try to create that. And talking about the demographics is very interesting. In 1996, when I was in first year, there were 45 of us, and 6 were girls, and that was news.
Exactly.
You know, 6 girls, it was unheard of. Today, it's easy to find about 45% of the class being ladies. And in the past, over the past 4 years, consistently, the ladies have been in the top 3.
Well, I mean, where ladies are.
I don't know what you guys. Maybe we should look at the Beijing thing again. You have achieved your aim, huh?
Overachieved. You know, now we need to move somewhere else beyond Beijing. But how was it like, you know, being in this kind of space? Is it so difficult? Was it easy for you to, you know, go through the process? In fact, putting all this together, what did it take?
The course is demanding. It really demands most of your
Don't
time.
Look at me.
Look at him. Hello to, you know, Prophet M. Chidanso and Dr. Algebe and all this. I know what it takes, you know, to put project work together.
Yes. Yeah. So it was really demanding right from first year. Sometimes people want to stop and all because we don't have time.
I mean, the attrition rate for architecture is probably the highest in the university.
It's really tough.
Right?
But what motivates us is some of us know that we started something and we want to end it. So that's what motivates us to move on. But the course is demanding.
So you are in your final year?
I'm done.
Oh, you are done.
Yet to graduate.
You are done. Okay, yet to graduate.
Yes.
Beautiful. Now, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So what next? Now, it's not going to be putting things like this together and keep it on the table and all. You are coming to the real world where we want to live in this that you are creating. So what are you expecting, you know, to happen? You stepping out to the job market. I'm sure you've heard of graduate unemployment.
Yes.
You know, you'll be in that queue. So what are your plans, you know, coming out of school?
In relation to this or
in relation to your life, architecture,
Okay.
what you have studied, you know.
So I would like to further to do my PhD, and then
Rhoda, you think
and then practice afterwards. So after practice, I may go and then or do it in combination with practicing. Lecturing and practicing together.
Okay.
She probably wants to join us. Like, for example, most of us in the department teach and also practice, so that we are not only talking about what is in a textbook, but we're actually talking about what happened yesterday on site. But for the profession, I happen to be the chief examiner of Ghana Institute of Architects. To be a professional architect, you have to go through a process. If you attended Central University, because it's a 5-year program, you have to do an internship of 3 years before you come.
Internship?
For work under a registered firm or architect for 3 years. If you are from KNUST, then you do 2 years. And so yesterday we met the next batch who are going to write next year, about 70 of them. This year the pass rate was 84%, which has tremendously improved from the 45% that they used to be many years ago. And so you go through that, write the professional exam, pass, then you are authorized or certified by the Architects Registration Council to practice architecture in Ghana. So similar to medicine, it takes about 8 years to call somebody an architect. So next time when you are paying one, please be kind and pay well.
Oh my! I mean, 2 to 3 years internship. Gosh, I mean, that's somebody working and like, next to becoming CEO or something. But do Ghanaians really, use the services of architects?
They do, but you see the problem, first of all, 2 things.
Yeah.
Our recruitment rate, our graduates are 200% oversubscribed. Every year, there are people who need them to be in their offices and stuff like that. But one of the biggest problems we have in Ghana is for Ghanaians to appreciate the services that persons render.
Yeah.
I mean, if you are going to pay for a mason, they see them sweating and they're carpenters up the roof, they are happy to pay them. But if they have to pay for service, going to like a dentist, going to see an architect, come
because
to see
when we don't see the sweat, we almost feel like
and with architects, we feel like, but I'm just drawing something.
Yeah, and then
it's just
like
pencil and paper.
You just drawing. The next day it comes through, But for a typical project, for this one, if we're going to build, at the barest minimum, you need about 150 drawing sheets to properly explain the design. If each sheet takes, say, a day or 2 to fix, and take the number of days plus the number of man hours you are using.
6 months of work.
Yeah. Typically, you'd have 6 months for all the architectural, the services, the structures, and everything. It takes time.
And what I find interesting, because I have a few architect friends myself, what I find interesting is that the architect doesn't only do the finished look that you're seeing this, right? But in terms of the detail, every measurement is you go to the site, take the full, what the coordinates are, and then when you are drawing specifically. So the kitchen will be this length, this height.
The kitchen is placed here for a reason.
Yes, for a reason.
The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. The west is the hottest, and so make sure that all the wet areas are in the west.
Exactly.
And we take the garage there, and it just does not come out.
So when we look at Ghana today, the way our development is, how we build and all that, would you say that it is because we do not use the services of architects, that is why we are where we are? Buildings scattered all over the place, people building anyhow, buildings collapsing on people. Would you say that?
Absolutely. There are a lot of the district assemblies that are supposed to use architects. Actually, when you get a design, anybody is designing, there's supposed to be a committee that looks at it, and you need to make sure that you have the right professionals there. Not all of them use them. Some do not actually have them anyway, depending on which part of the country in which you are. And in terms of our development, there are professionals that we can easily help in this area. And so probably this is a wake-up call. We definitely need to do that. There are a lot of projects that are happening, done by architects, and they've been done right. Once you get the professional person, if there's a problem, you can take the person on. We obviously take professional indemnity, and you can do that. But with the other persons, people always look at the capital cost and not the life cycle. Initially, this guy is going to charge me probably 50% less. Let me use that person. And they build 3rd floor, 4th floor, and the whole thing collapses. And that's a lot of money that is lost.
Are architects very expensive?
It depends. It's relative. If you're going to buy a car, I mean, it is what it is. So there are services that need to be paid for, and the Ministry of Works and Housing comes out with a rate that can be used, and you can easily also negotiate. A lot of times I have clients who have a hard time agreeing to pay, but the moment you finish the finished product, okay, I now understand what actually went into that. So probably we should do a lot more engagement like this and let people understand what actually goes into that.
The age-old argument in Ghana, and I don't know if it happens anywhere in the world, but somebody says, let me just use the draftsman.
Yeah, so they just use the draftsman, and because we're in the tropics, there's a lot of heat that is generated. So our buildings must be oriented a certain way. The long side should face the north and the south. When you look at this building, it has very wide overhangs because the intensity of our heat is a lot. And so it cuts that out. Our corridors, our planes, wide overhangs. These are things that you don't get the draftsman doing. They're in the office and they always see that there's a living room somewhere and there's a dining somewhere, but they don't actually get the rationale for that. That is why you must always use the architect. And the Ghana Institute of Architects is going to be organizing the World Architecture Day. There are a series of exhibitions. We are doing a yearbook. We want to come out more for people to understand what the architect does.
Right, so in like 30 seconds, tell us, if I'm going to an architect, for my building, something. What am I really getting?
You are getting value for money.
Okay.
Any building you are going to put up is probably one of the biggest investments you'd ever make. Why don't you choose the right person? Why do you want to toy with that? So go to the architect and get value for money.
Okay. Thank you very much, Prof.
I did 20 seconds, right?
Fantastic. No, you are in academia. You understand it. You are the dean. You understand that, okay? Right. So, Rhoda, what would be your final work with this that you have achieved? Now, everybody is watching you. I think this is amazing. This is fantastic.
It would be great to see this come to life.
I mean, this is, providing proper solution to our problems, our challenges. What do you want Ghana to know? What do you want Ghana to do about this?
Okay, so we can solve our problems, the little problems we see around. We could find solutions to them. Shouldn't always wait for government to come in and then make an input. So that's one. And then two.
No, let government come in. No, I'm saying this because the whole place is getting flooded, okay? And sometimes you don't have that power. You don't have what it takes, not money, okay? You need an assembly to back you to say that we are adopting this strategy. We are now using these people to come and change, the whole area. That's what I'm saying. Government must come in because sometimes you need that push, you need that support. Even when you have money, you can't decide that I have money, so I'm going to just decide to create something. You need proper authorities to follow you. So that's what the government, everything they are part.
Besides, they are the biggest employer and investor in the industry.
You get it? Because if there will be transformation in that, I never can pronounce the name of that area again. What is the name again? Azizakpe. Yeah, so if Azizakpe is going to adopt this, government must come in. And I think that this is something that government must look at. Or David, you don't...
I think
exactly.
It is. The climate change debate is real. I mean, climate change is happening. If you don't take time, the map of Ghana, we have to draw it differently because Keta, the place is getting lost.
It's around that area too.
I agree that even now we have to draw it again because some of the places, I mean, when you talk to the people, the tidal waves and all these kind of things, a lot of communities have been washed away. So the Ghana map
Rhoda would like to join PSA to sing Nyame Edi.
You get it? Obey more because I think this is amazing. This is beautiful, and I'm happy it's coming from a young girl, and all the best. I mean,
a young girl from KNUST.
Thank you. Thank you.
A young girl from KNUST, a young girl from Ashanti. Then we can all share in the whole thing. A young girl who is wearing almost my color. Our colors are almost the same. Anyway, Rhoda, thank you very much. You've done an amazing work, okay? And I think that if government is watching this, look, there are young people who have solutions. They have the ideas. So sometimes our universities are doing amazing stuff. Why are we not looking at the universities and the researches that they are conducting and use that to change our society? It's not the time that people will get flooded and go and stand there and do press conference and come and sit down and we form committee. It's okay. Rhoda, them are here, Prof is here. Please, this can be adopted and this can change the lives of so many people.
And even though this is for ecotourism, I'm even looking at the buildings and saying that it's a building design that actual indigenes can be taught to build in this way.
Exactly.
So that the houses don't get flooded and washed away.
No, and David, it is beautiful. You go to certain places and you appreciate the architecture. Your architecture tells a certain story. So sometimes it's not just for fun. It's beautiful, but you should be able to tell. When you go to the north, you are in the north because of the kind of buildings that they have. So I think that really we need to come together.
That's changing now, sadly.
You want to change
development,
architecture.
when you go there, we did a study and it's actually in the rural areas, in Upper West and in the hinterland that you find that. But in Tamale and the major cities, it's all
because we can still maintain that style with a modern touch.
Exactly.
And even our buildings around in Accra, there are other solutions apart from plastic bottles that can help with our flooding issues.
Exactly.
Other major a lot of solutions outside that we could actually employ in here.
Because that's for that mode, the blankets are finished.
So on behalf of the Vice Chancellor, Professor Rhoda, Akosia Dixon, and the leadership of KNUST. We are grateful to Citi FM for this opportunity. And like Freeman, what's an PSA asked, we also ask for more.
Yeah, you know, we come to KNUST a lot. You know, I was almost at the University of Ghana. I have to find some way to bring that in. You know, you know, we come there a lot. You know, so no problem at all. We will come. I mean, when it's time for the graduation, the exhibition, is it going to happen in Accra or Kumasi?
I will do one in Accra and one in Kumasi.
Okay, we'll be there.
No, for Accra. Please come to Kumasi.
No, it's my home, so coming to Kumasi is not a problem at all. Right, so thank you very much, Prof, and thank you very much, Rhoda, and all the best. Right.
We'll take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. Breakfast Daily will continue shortly.